So we'd like to welcome everyone for our next segment of the Golden Bears video podcast. So I'm Clifford Casson, host, Deputy Superintendent here at Vestal Central School District. And I'm really excited because today we have with us Patrick Flavin, and he is a PC LAN technician through BT BOCES, and LAN means local area network, right?
Yes.
So Patrick, welcome to the show. Really happy to have you here.
Nice to talk to you guys at least. I can't see you.
Now, are you warm enough in our nice, luxurious studio?
Oh, yeah, totally. It's the best place I've ever been.
So Patrick and I were sitting here, we're talking to Dylan, and we're both like, man, it's cold in here. And it is pretty chilly today for some reason, but we'll get through. So Patrick, so welcome to the show, and want to get a little background information on you and
Sure.
Your early life, where you grew up,
Yeah.
and obviously if it's not in Vestal, whatever, because Vestal is the best place. But anyway, we want to hear about you.
Okay. I grew up in Lansing, New York, a little outside of Ithaca.
Yeah.
Most people know Ithaca for Cornell,
Yeah,
the big college that's around there.
that's right. Yes.
I used to go to Puga Heights in Ithaca, like real young. But
Okay.
then my parents decided to move up to Lansing, and then I went to Lansing Elementary School, middle school, and then high school, and then
Okay.
I graduated in 2009.
Oh, great. I know where Lansing School is. I drive by that frequently if we go up to Cuga Lake, that
Yeah.
area. Now, I do believe, isn't there a bridge? Have you heard the bridge? They took a bridge out,
Yeah,
right?
they
Is
have
that
the
on-
bridge out. You have to go
Is
down through Myers Park in order to get out, or you could go Ludlowville.
Okay. Are they going to put that bridge back in, you think?
They're saying a couple of years.
Oh,
I
gee.
don't know why, but
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with that area. That's a pretty nice area to grow
It
up.
is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So you went to high school there, and
Yes.
what happened after high school?
after high school, I graduated and I went to Morrisville State College,
Yeah.
where I went to school for a little while. Didn't end up working out in the long run, though. I don't know if you mind me saying, but I had to drop out due to mental health issues.
Okay. Yeah.
But I eventually got back on the horse,
That's
like
great.
another year after that. Went to TC3, and then graduated with a PC support specialist, AAS, I think.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's a really good school.
Yeah, it is.
I've been on that campus before. That's just really nice. Awesome. Well, that's a great success story. That's fantastic.
I thought so.
And yeah, definitely. So then, so with that took you that 2-year degree. That took you into. Have you?
I started out working at Texas Roadhouse, like just, you know how it is when you're young, any job you can
Yeah,
get.
well, that's a good
make little
restaurant
bit
to
of
work
money.
at. It's kind of fun there. Yeah.
And then
That's
I
awesome.
got a job at Staples as
Okay.
a tech there.
Oh yeah.
Learned a little bit, and eventually moved up to being a per diem tech on demand at Cortland Regional Medical Center.
Oh really? Okay.
And then I had to leave that for personal reasons. And then weirdly, I ended up spending a bunch of time in PA for a while to get
Gotcha.
away from that personal thing that happened.
Okay.
And I did some IT work a little bit there. I'd like to think of it as that was like my off the beaten path trip before I
Gotcha.
came back
Yes.
to New York and doing like more IT work.
Yeah.
I came back and I started at and I worked at Corning.
Oh,
I
at
worked
Corning? Did you really?
For
Wow.
like
That's
8
awesome.
months.
Yeah.
And then I heard that they were like what's the term? They were letting people go, like they
Oh,
were
yeah.
reducing the IT budget.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try to get out, and then I moved here in this area. We go to work at Lockheed Martin,
Oh, you did. My
and then I
goodness.
was at Lockheed Martin for almost a year, and I got a call out of the blue that they had to let me go.
Okay.
The contracting company was like, "We're gonna have to let you go."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I applied to a bunch of places, applied to BOCES, eventually got hired and
That's
placed
fantastic.
in Vestal.
Well, we're so glad to have you at Vestal. You do an awesome
Thank you.
job
I
here
try
for us.
really
and
hard to do my
it's
best.
yeah, you really do. So that's great. Well, that's a really neat path you've taken. I mean, I don't know a lot of people can say that. You've been around a lot of different
Right,
areas,
it's
a lot of
definitely
different great
been all over the
experiences.
place. Not nearly as focused as I would have liked, but I've experienced a bit.
Yeah. But I always think that those paths you take, you never know where it can come back and help you in the long run, right?
If I'm being completely honest, I never expected it to lead back to working at a school. I was always that kid that was in trouble.
Right,
I was
okay.
in the principal's office
Yeah.
just because I felt like the work was below me, so I
I
just
see.
didn't. But
Yeah.
like I'm back in a school again. I don't think my teachers would have guessed the same thing, but like,
isn't that cool?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Do you enjoy it though in the school?
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's very relaxed, laid back. I actually prefer it to the corporate environment.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I think those of us that work in education, it takes a unique person to be in education, work in the education world, but it's so fulfilling, isn't it? I mean,
really
just think
is.
about everything that you do, and you're helping teachers, helping students, right?
Yeah.
So they can be the
and
best they
I'm
can
not just
be.
like making a faceless corporate entity money for no reason.
Right.
Like I'm helping kids. I'm making their lives better. I'm making teacher jobs. In fact, my mom works as a teacher's aide, sort of special ed thing at BJM.
Oh, does she?
So
really?
she's been a teacher for, I think, probably like 14 years.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, that's fun. You know, you think about it, how many thank yous have you received since you've been here? Probably a ton of them,
Oh,
right?
a bunch.
Right? Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's great.
It goes a long way.
It's unique because I don't think you get enough of that like in the private sector.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you're expected
Right.
to do it.
And it's genuine, you know, that's it, right? You come in, you help a teacher or help a student with a computer, like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. You
and
know?
why I've wanted to do IT my whole life is the look on people's faces when you solve a problem that they just don't understand, and the look of like they're so happy that they can finally go back to what they were doing.
Yeah.
It lights up their face like getting a Christmas present.
You're right. It is pretty cool. Well, sometimes when technology doesn't work, you're like, and so when it does work, like, wow, thank you. It is like getting a Christmas present. That's great. So thinking about Vestal and our infrastructure here for technology, and you've had a vast experience elsewhere. What can you say about our, we have that one-to-one initiative that happened last year. So everyone has Chromebooks. We have, Promethean boards in the classrooms, and we're going now to it was all-in-one desktops, right? We're getting a lot of those into the district. So what do you think about our whole IT department and infrastructure?
I think that Vestal's really like on the forefront, like at least in some ways, where they're like making an effort to try to be future facing. I was thinking forward facing, but I meant future facing as opposed to like, you could very easily have a superintendent maybe that like lives in the past and just feels like the spending there is just unnecessary and don't realize how important technology is to education. So when somebody does realize that it feels like you as a tech working as hard as you are, like you feel rewarded that like, oh, I'm speaking to somebody who actually genuinely understands what this means as opposed to just like you think that I'm just drawing money out of your budget for no reason. Yeah.
And it is such a great tool to use for education, and we know that our students really enjoy it. As those Chromebooks, they're having it one-to-one. What I've heard is very positive feedback on that, and it really does help support initiatives for that high-level education.
And I like it, but it's weird. I don't have too much to say because I don't know. When I went to school, that just wasn't. You had computer labs. That was it. The idea we used to have to be taught how to type. The idea that you would just get a Chromebook as a kid and know how to type was just unfathomable. You were taking
isn't that crazy?
Typing tests and like you were like, oh, click on this to go here, click on that to go here.
I know.
It's just that the change is so much that
it is amazing.
I don't really know how to say how it affects a student's life because I never lived it. So
yeah, that's true. Well, I'm thinking back when I was a student in high school. So we actually had typewriters, electric typewriters back then. So it's going way back. And I remember we would have to like learn the home row and we had to learn it. But it was the best thing because then when you got into computers in college, like, oh, wow, I can type pretty fast.
Right? And I'm sure you probably never thought that coming. You're like,
never thought that. I just had to take this
what are these computer
idiotic
things?
class, I thought at the time, Yeah. And remember the teacher saying, okay, all eyes up. And you had to type. She'd tell you what letters they had to type. So you're typing, you couldn't look down.
Yeah.
And then they would score you on accuracy. And like, oh man, you hit the wrong button. It was, but you're right. Time has really changed. And it's really neat what our students and teachers have now for technology and how advanced we are. And it really does help support the educational approach here at Vestal. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thanks for the insight for that part.
Of course.
So when you're thinking about your experiences and your education and, here at Vestal, what do you contribute to make Vestal such a great place? We know
I like to think I keep it running, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like the IT department, just like janitorial works in the background to keep that the infrastructure of school districts running.
Right.
Like if it wasn't for us, you'd have some tech issue. We wouldn't be there to help you, and then you wouldn't be able to get your work done.
You're right. Exactly. And it takes talented people like you to do that. Yeah, 100%. Well, we really appreciate everything you do here at Vestal.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's really nice that our school community can see the faces and the expertise that what it takes to run a high-performing school district here. And that's what this show is all about. And so we're really happy that you're here with us and took the time to meet with us. So with every guest that comes on the show, we give you a highly coveted Vestal Golden Bear pen. So that's just for you, Patrick.
Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
Appreciate it.
And we always conclude our shows by doing the Stay Golden fist bump. You ready?
I would not know anything about this.
I know, right? Stay golden.